Hey guys, Lewis Aaron here, frugalstudent.co.uk. Today I'm going to be coming at you with Whitbread's third quarter trading update. It was released last week, only now I'm getting a chance to do a video on it. If I'm going to do a video, I want to have looked into the figures, done proper research, and not just coming at you with a trading update. So, Whitbread, I have a full position in Whitbread, around £500. How do I feel about the stock going forward? Am I buying, am I selling? Well, watch this video and find out. On the day of the update, Whitbread shares increased by 4%. I was really shocked to see this because when I initially read the report, I wasn't too happy with what's going on, if I'm honest. I'm quite bearish on the report. I really wasn't impressed. But there are some positive signs, and I'm going to cover the positives first because, after all, the share price did increase after the update. So, Costa announced total sales growth of 7.2%. That's very strong. We're seeing that Costa is growing its sales, it's retained its popularity. But the big figure here for me is the like-for-like sales growth of 0.1%. That's very disappointing. That's a very weak performance for existing stores. For those of you who don't know what the difference between total sales growth and like-for-like sales growth is, well, total sales growth includes new stores, and like-for-like sales growth excludes new stores. So only measures stores that have been open for at least 12 months, so they can have that comparison. So the problem here is that Costa is really hurting its efficiency here, and I think I've got an idea of what's happening. Now, the big brokers, the big analysts think that there's a lack of appetite in the UK market for coffee, that the people are moving away from Costa as a brand, from even Starbucks as a brand, going into these smaller, more artisan coffee shops. Me personally, I don't think that's happening. What I think is happening is that Costa oversaturating their market on a local level. I'll show you an example. So here are the Costa stores in Swansea. That's where I went to university. So we started off here, we only had one store. A few years later, the second store opened in the Quadrant. Then the third store, literally right next door to the original store. Then they opened one in the university campus here, and they have one in Uplands. Now, you're talking there, that's 4 stores right in the vicinity of each other. I can't see that much appetite for new customers. I don't think you're going to be acquiring new customers. That's a problem, because if that happens on a national level, that's really going to hurt the stores in efficiency. That's more overheads. That's more capital expenditure then that you can have in these new stores. Yes, true Costa is a franchise model, so you can mitigate some of that cost. But they're cannibalizing their own market, and that's going to hurt efficiency going forward. That really does worry me. What I'm really happy about is this. The Costa Express, so these are the small Costa Express machines that you see in garages, sometimes on university campuses. Those sales were up, although from a small base, very strongly at 20.4%. And I think this is going to be Costa's main driver going forward as they expand these very low cost and very profitable Costa Express machines into more service stations, more campuses. For example. So I think that is a very significant opportunity going forward, and that's where I see the big driver going forward. But if I just pause on that, there's a problem here, because again, there's a possibility that you're going to saturate the market, that you're going to cannibalize your sales. Now, Costa have been concentrating very significantly on opening drive-through stores. I mean, isn't your drive-through clientele the people that are going to pick up the Costa in a service station? I'm a bit worried about that. I know I'm going down to a really localized model, and of course, Costa is a global business, but it worries me. I mean, how much appetite is there for Costa products time after time? I really don't know. International sales up 4.2%. Now, management, this worries me, because management, in their trading update, have kept going on about China. You go to the end of the trading update, there's significant opportunities in China, China this, China that. I don't think Costa is going to succeed in China. And again, that's me pulling that out of a hat. I'm not an expert. I've spent a significant amount of time in China, visiting China. I've been to the Costa stores in China, and I can tell you now that Chinese consumers much prefer Starbucks. Starbucks already has a stronger hold on the market. Costa's there a lot too late. I can't see this becoming a huge driver going forward. I don't think they're going to do very badly, but I don't think it's going to be this big driver that management is constantly talking about. So I'll be honest, guys, I'm not an expert on the Premier Inn side of Whitbread's business. From where I look, though, the Premier Inn, they're flat. It looks like they're going to have a lot of opportunity moving forward in Germany. That's very positive, and they've performed comparatively on last year, so no major change there. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that because essentially that remains unchanged. Now, is Costa a buy today? That's a hard question because, as we can see, Costa is currently trading at a price to earnings on their adjusted earnings of about 15.3. You take their diluted earnings about 16.1. So they're around at market value, and the dividend yield is very low, 1.68%. So don't buy for the yield, don't buy for the dividend. If you're going to be buying Whitbread, you want to be buying it because, more than anything, if you believe in the Costa Express potential and you believe they can make solid ground going forward, maybe by price increases for Costa, although I don't think that is a wise idea at present, or shifting consumers up into these more expensive drinks, such as the cold brews, for example, and Starbucks have been very successful with that. The problems going forward for Costa is that it's saturated its main market. Everybody was shocked when Costa essentially, kicked Starbucks' ass in the UK. But I can't see more room. I can't see where Costa's going for this. It's cannibalising this market. Yes, it's got the service stations, but I can't see something big coming forward that's really going to boost these earnings right into the future. The only major the only major kick that Costa's going to get is if management finally decides to spin out Costa and Premier Inn as separate businesses. That's a very wise idea, in my opinion, because the Costa, the Premier Inn, they're very disjointed in terms of the businesses, and having separate holdings would really allow them to drive forward and focus more on a business level as opposed to an overarching kind of corporate model. So I think Whitbread is at fair value at the moment. They're just concentrating on so many things. You've got your Costa, you've got your Premier Inn, then you've got these little things that they're doing about table, brews, fair, etc. That's almost irrelevant really to the overall business. So I really would like to see a more focused approach from management, and the way that I see that happening is with a spin-off, with a split, essentially, that you're going to have your Costa business and your Premier Inn business separately. And then I think that's where the opportunity is going to be, along with the Costa Express chain. For now, I'm holding my shares. I bought them quite cheaply in October, topping up my position. I'm happy with the performance so far. I think they were undervalued, but now I think they're trading around fair value. I want to know what you think about Whitbread shares going forward. What do you think? Is Costa cannibalising this market? How is Costa stacking up against Starbucks, Coffee One, Caffè Nero, etc.? Is this a saturated market? Or do you think Costa is really going to drive their sales in the future through Costa Express? And also, will China be a success? Do you disagree with me? Do you have some insight into the Chinese market that I don't have? And as always, subscribe. Let's keep updated. Let's build this channel and let's talk about UK stocks, because there's not enough people out there doing it.